What is up, YouTube? It's Matthew here and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to show you step by step how to get your list downloaded from Listsource, and then after that, what are the next steps? I recently had someone DM me saying, okay, I got my data from Listsource. What should I do next? And to me, this sounds very simple and very, easy, but a lot of people don't know. So I'm just sharing that with you all on how to do it.
Before we go on, be sure to like this video, subscribe, turn on post notification bell, and comment down below.
For the support, as you all know, I'm not a guru, I'm not a pro in this business. I'm just documenting my journey and showing you all different ways that's been helping me in this business, and hopefully you can get these tips, adjust it on your part, and then learn from there. So from here, we're going to go straight to Listsource. So these are different lists that I purchased, either to find cash buyers, owner occupied, or absentee lists. So what you're going to do here is you're going to, for example, press export. And from here, you can download them by file type, CSV, if you're going to use like Google Sheets or something, and then Microsoft Excel file, and then you can do text file and the DBase file. And then from there, for example, this is Google Sheets, you're going to get a list just like this from Listsource. And there's so many different informations here. You have the name of the owner multiple times in multiple different ways. You have the mailing address, you have equity, you have the city, you have the county, and other things like that. That doesn't really matter. So what you're going to do is you're going to filter it down, delete the columns that don't matter, so you can put that into a skip tracing service or a direct mail service. So from that list, you're going to cut it down to these main columns. So that's the owner's last name, owner's first name, mailing address, mailing city, mailing state, mailing zip code, then property address, property city, property state, property zip code. Now, from there, for example, you have this John Smith. Let's say this is an owner-occupied list that you got from Listsource. And I made a video on how to find owner-occupied or absentee lists on my channel. So make sure you check out that video. I'll try to put it up here or down below so you all can look at that. So this is basically a owner who owned the property for at least 15 years. So they still live in the property, and the property needs updating, most likely some repairs. Maybe you drove by it, or just the time of them owning it. They're bound to be some repairs needed. So John Smith, you have the mailing address, city, state, and the zip code. And since they live in their property, the mailing address and the property address will be the same. You see? Bam. So let's say you're targeting absentee lists. So these are people who live in a property, who own a property, but they don't live in that property. They either live in a different city, a different part of town, or even entirely a different state or country. You never know. So basically, we have John Smith here again, but this time his mailing address is in Chicago instead of New York. The property address here is in New York City, but you're going to be mailing to Chicago. And so you're just going to filter that down, and you just have to delete columns from your Listsource data. You don't have to be adding addresses or changing things. So it's very simple to filter this list down. So from there, let's say you're cold calling. One site I recommend is batch skips tracing. You hear it all the time from big people in this business, Brent Daniels, Wholesaling Inc., all these different companies. So that's the one I used before. They're pretty good. They give you as much as you can. Probably, yeah, you're gonna get as much as you can. So from here, from the website, you're just gonna click submit your list. But this pops up. And then what you're gonna do, you can watch the tutorial, or you can just download this sheet. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna download it from like a CSV. I like using CSVs for my list. And so once you download that, let's just do that right now. I think there's a minimum requirement though. So we have that right here, and all I'm going to do, I'm just going to drag and drop that here, right? And then I'm going to click submit. It may not work because I only had 2 names on this list, but we'll see. It can't be less than 50. But basically, it's very easy to use. You submit that list, and then from there, you download. They're going to send you an email on a Excel formatted list that you can either upload to Google Sheets or your Microsoft Excel sheet. And then from there, from that list, you can start cold calling. Just cold call these people, and then you should be good from there. So those are the steps if you're cold calling. Now, let's say you're doing direct mail. So direct mail, you can skip this part of the step because you don't need their phone numbers. So what you're going to do is you're still going to download it, but one website that I use for my mailers is, of course, Yellow Letter HQ. You all heard of this website. Another website I used to use is called Rel Simplify or something like that. It's a little bit cheaper, but I just keep on getting like different marks on my postcards, and like the printing just became horrible. So I went with Yellow Letter, even though they're a little bit higher, and the quality is just not as, yeah, it's different. So from there, I can just show you guys the differences right now. So so from Rel Simply, I don't know if you all, let me see if I can change this from here. So from, and I got my glasses on, I didn't want to put them on so the light won't disturb you all. So from Rel Simply, you're just going to see something like this. It's a better quality postcard. It's like plastered, it's larger, the font is bigger, like the paper feels better. But when they print it, for some reason, you see that mark up top like there? You see that mark? They would have different marks like that, like it would mess up where the address was and different things like that. And then this is Yellow Letter. Now it's just like a paper, honestly, but they don't have as much marks, and they're very convenient, and their customer support is so much better to me than RE Simply. And yeah, they just respond better, and they mail out your mailers, it seems like, a little bit quicker. No, not really. They're about the same. But yeah, that's a side note showing the differences between that. But from here, you're just going to go to shop. Excuse me. You can do different things. You can choose different things. You can choose letters with windowed envelopes. You can do letters with invitation colored envelopes. You can do postcards. I used this a couple times. This is a property street view picture, letter, and postcard. So that's basically showing the property in your postcard, and they just take a photo from Google Maps and they place that right on the card. And the format is really nice because they say, hey, we didn't even actually drive by the property, so the seller won't be freaked out or anything. We just got this from Google Image. So something like that. They have a skip tracing service that I never use, and then they have list organizer, different thing like that, return mail, list, and leads. And so from there, we're just going to do postcards. They start at 36 cents, depending on how much you send and what type of postcard. I personally always do first class postcard. Standard postage, they say it take 8 to 21 days, which is to me absolutely ridiculous. For a postcard. Like, why would I be taking that long to send out some mail? But if you go here, you can look at the different prices they start at. But you have to, I think the minimum is 1,000, and they start at 43 cents. See, the minimum, 1,000 minimum. So if you're doing a shorter list, you have to do the first class, because first class allows you to send a minimum of 100, but it's 60 cents. So that's 20 cents more, basically. So from here, you can choose from the different templates that they have here. Let me just exit out of that. Can I do that download? Excuse me, y'all. I'm sorry. All right. Okay, so from there, you can look at the different templates that they can use for you, showing that you have a family, different yellow, urgent notice type thing, different ones. And then from here, you click your template. I usually use a custom postcard on file. that I use. You could do the font selection. I usually use Tower, and my font color is red, and my paper color is yellow, black and yellow. So from here, pre-return mail. So if you guys want that option to receive a list of all your undeliverable mail, you can say yes or no. You can just, yeah, you can, yeah. Usually they send it back to your box or whatnot. And then what day? I always send it ASAP because I send it the same time every week. So if I send it every Monday and I click this option, it's going to go out the same time every week, essentially. So how much mail do you want to get out? Let's say you have a large list, like 2,000-3,000 or more. You can have multiple drops, mail drops with that. And then you can, how many batch drops do you want? And you can do it from there. But I usually mail all at once because I don't have super large lists. And then from there, you put the files over here, and they document it and they sort it out, making sure you have the right, proper titles of columns, and you fill out your information of where you want this postcard to come from. Like what's your mailing address for it, and then you put a order notes. Let's say you want special instructions for your order, like, hey, when you send this out, I need you to just call me in advance or something like that. I don't know. I usually just put none because they require something for you to say something here. You put an order name, and then how many pieces is basically how many pieces they collected from here, from drop files or anything like that. So I hope you all enjoyed that video on what's the next step on how to market your data that you got from Listsource, whether that's cold calling or direct mail. Uh, those are the sources that I used before. What are different sources you use? Please comment down below and let me know. And tell me how your journey is going. For me, wholesaling, it's a rocky start for 2020, just to be honest with you all. I'm not getting any much traction or anything like that, but I'm just trucking through. I'm doing a lot more driving for dollars, been consistent with that, and just marketing to those lists through direct mail. So I hope you all enjoy this video. Be sure to smash that like button, and I'll talk to you all later. Peace.